Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another stamping and card making day here in Simcoe, Ontario. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own Stampin' Up demonstrator, you can shop with me. You can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com, or my demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net. And as it's officially fall, I thought we'd make a fall themed card. The stamp set we're going to use is part of the All About Autumn suite. That's in the mini catalogue, page 42-43. Now we're going to use just the bundle today, the stamps and dies, because I don't have the DSP to go with it, but we don't need it for this card either. We're going to keep this fairly simple. Stamps and dies, mini catalogue, page 44, 76.50 for the bundle. You get all these beautiful stamps here, and you get the gorgeous dies as well. We are going to use this one big die here just to cut out an extra leaf for our card. So let me tell you what we've got to make this card. We're going to use we've got a early espresso card base, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5.5. We've got a piece for the inside, very vanilla, 5 1/4 by 4. We've got a scrap to cut an extra leaf out. We've got some mats here. We've got pumpkin pie, which is a beautiful fall colour. Pumpkin pie, 4 inches square, early espresso, 3 3/4 inches square, and very vanilla, 3.5 inches square. We've got a couple of scraps for the sentiment. Not sure what we're going to do with that yet. And we've got, as I say, this piece, a scrap just to cut out an extra leaf. So let's see what we're going to do. We need to do some stamping first. Now, while you're stamping is a good time to stamp your envelope too. So let's just see what we can do today and make a nice card. Now I've got a piece of scrap paper on my table just to catch the colour when I stamp off the edges of the card. We've got some lovely fall ink colours. We've got a whole assortment of them. Garden green, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze, mossy meadow, pecan pie, crushed curry, and early espresso. And we're going to use those randomly type of thing. Now there's my envelope. There's my dies. I got to try and stay organised here. This is the piece we're going to stamp on, and we're going to stamp on that. And because this stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, we also need the brown foam mat, because these stamps themselves have no foam layer to them. Okay, so to give us a little bit of give on the stamp set, we need to stamp on the foam mat. So we're going to try and tuck that under the mat, and I'm just going to crease the paper so I can sort of see where the mat is. Alright, that's my envelope. I must remember to decorate the envelope, maybe pop a stamp on the inside of the card as well. Okay, let's get started. So we've got, this is the whole focal point of the card, this little 3.5 inch square of very vanilla. And I'm going to take crushed curry, and I'm going to stamp one big leaf right in the middle of that piece, and I'm going to use this really large stamp. Now I've used this stamp several times and used it with red and coloured dies, and because it's a clear photopolymer stamp, it doesn't come clean, but the colour, the ink left on it doesn't affect what you're going to stamp. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got no red dye left on there. Now, because these are new photopolymer stamps, they don't always stamp well. So a little trick is to rub them over with some clear Versamark, and that just sort of, what's the word, conditions the stamp. Yeah, we're not clear there. Conditions the stamp. Okay, so I pop this into Versamark. I'm now going to take my Daffodil Delight, no it's not, crushed curry, and I'm going to ink this stamp up really well. And I'm going to stamp this full strength right in the middle of this card. There. There. And that gives us the center for the card. Now the others, now if you think that's too dark, you could always stamp that off onto your paper once to get a lighter colour. Maybe I'll show you on the back of this piece what I mean. You can still use the back of that piece. So this is full strength. Stamp it off once and then stamp it on the card. Now you see the difference? That's full strength, that's not. Honestly, I like the not full strength the best. So I'm going to turn this piece of card over because that's what we can do. And I'm going to ink this up again. Find my foam mat. Stamp it off and then stamp it on the card. I do like that better, the lighter colour. There. That's lovely. We're going to keep using this same stamp, this same leaf stamp. And we're going to stamp some leaves around the outside. Now we've got to remember to stamp the envelope and the inside of the card. So you know what? Yeah. Why don't we just stamp that stamp again? And that'll pull it all together. So we'll, where's my leaf? Here it is. This is my envelope. Now a nice touch would be to stamp that on the back of the envelope as well. I'm just going to stamp, ink it up once, stamp off once, stamp it in the corner of the envelope, stamp that, stamp it off once, stamp it on the back of the envelope. That's a nice touch. And then this is for the inside of the card. Stamp it off once, stamp it in the corner. There. So we've sort of got all the bits to be pulled together now. We need to turn that over because we're going to stamp that in a different colour. That's going to be my... So that's all the crushed curry that we're going to stamp. But now we're going to pick some other colours. What have we got? Let's go garden green. And I think again I'm going to stamp these off so that that's for the inside. Where's my focal piece? That's this piece here. I'm going to stamp these off because I think I'm liking the lighter colours. Get rid of that. And this we're just going to stamp in the very corner here. Let's try and get it on there. I want to get them kind of close together, but I don't want them to overlap. That's all we're doing for garden green. We've got some pumpkin pie here. Clean that, yes. Oh, that's very light. We'll maybe stamp that full colour. Will we? Oh, let's have a look. We'll just stick a little bit on the end there. Yeah. A bit of pumpkin pie. What next? Cajun craze we can do. Cajun craze. Now Cajun craze is a very dark colour, so for sure I want to stamp this one off. And Cajun craze is the colour I'm going to use for my additional stamp as well. So I'm going to stamp this off once, and then I'm just going to, let me have a look, I don't know if I had that well inked. Stamp it off once, and then I'm going to stamp Cajun craze right in this corner. Nice. And we need a Cajun craze for this piece. Now I think for this piece I'm going to do Cajun craze full strength. Let me see. We can always find another piece of card if we don't like it. I think I like it. We're going to leave it. Yep, we're going to leave it. Okay, so we've got that. And what else have we got? We need a little bit of something for this corner. We've got some pecan pie down here. Again, we're going to stamp it and stamp it off. There. We need a little something in this corner. Now this corner, if we wanted to, we could leave, because we're going to cut this leaf out and put it in the corner there. But I think I want to put just a little bit of colour in that corner. How about a bit of mossy meadow maybe? Yeah, a little bit of mossy meadow. Mossy meadow's quite dry, so I'm giving it a good ink. We're just going to pop it right on this corner. There. Now you see sometimes my stamping is a little darker than others, but that's okay. These are fall leaves. These are fall leaves, so don't worry about it. Now we've got some early espresso. We're going to use early espresso to stamp the veins of just the Daffodil Delight leaves. Okay, so let me get that inked up. Yeah, that looks nice. Now I've got to be careful here because I've got to lean over this. Move that out. Lean over this and line this stamp up with my leaf that I have stamped. I think there. Isn't that just a lovely finishing touch in the middle of that leaf? I love it. This. Now what we could do is, if we didn't like it as dark as that, we could stamp this off, but I'm going to use it full strength. There. And on the envelope. There. I'm holding the flaps of the envelope down. I've already got a mark on there. I'm holding the flaps of the envelope down so that I can line my veins up. That worked very well. Okay, that's it for stamping leaves. Oh, we have a sentiment 4 to go on the front. And I had a piece of cardstock, and I do know, oh, there it is, right there. And this sentiment says, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. Now again, because it's a brand new stamp, I'm going to dab it into the Versamark just to condition the stamp, and I'm going to stamp in early espresso, and I'm going to use it full strength. And I'm going to stamp it on this piece of card here, this very vanilla, and I really don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, so I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. That's just a scrap of card. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. That can go out of the way. We've got that. I think we're just going to leave the inside of the card empty except for the leaf we stamped. We're ready to put this card together. Now this is the front. This is going on here. I'm going to move my messy piece of paper out of the way. This leaf here we're going to punch out. We're going to use the die, so we're going to cut it out, and it's the very largest die here, this one here. That will just go right over top like that. Oops. Line it up nicely like that, as close as you can. tape it down if you want to. I'm a fan of taping things down because they tend to move time I get from here over to the big shot. And I'm just going to turn away and cut this out because the big shot, my cut and emboss machine, it shakes the table too much. So I'll be right back. Oh, and that cut out lovely. That's all we're going to do for cutting out leaves today. We'll just set that back on there and then we won't lose it. There. Right. So let's get started. So there's the envelope. That's the inside of the card. These are the pieces for the outside, and we're going to build this up in layers. I might leave that there. I think you're better looking at that. So this piece here is the biggest piece. We've got 4 inches square, 3 3/4 inches square, and 3 1/2 inches square. Okay, and we're just going to layer these all together. Hey, you know what, I'm taking this out of the way. There, then we won't have any glaring. So, because we've got 4 inches, 3 3/4 and 3 1/2 for the squares, it means we've got about 1/8 of an inch all the way around for each layer. So we can just layer them nicely. There's one. This layer here. Same again, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. There. That just made it, that makes a nice layer. Now this is going to go on the front of the card, right here. It's got 1/8 of an inch either side, but it's got about 3/8 of an inch at the top. And I'm just putting this down, again, down flat. And I need to be careful which way I'm going to put this. I want this leaf to be this way on the card. So I'm going to work from the side of the card. And as I say, I've got about 3/8 of an inch at the top and 1/8 of an inch either side. There. So this leaf we punched out, fluff on there, is just going to sit up on dimensionals like this, but we've also got to think, what are we going to do with the sentiment? There's dies that will cut this sentiment out, but I think it's a little bit too big for what I want. See, I want it to go down here with this leaf popped up. Would it be? What about a circle? What about a circle? I've got a 1 1/2 inch punch here. Would it fit in there? Just barely. 1 1/2 inch punch. Well, I've done it now. I wasn't going to, but I have. And then I've got a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Scrap of brown, right in front of me, scrap of early espresso there. There. So that was just a 1 1/2 inch circle and a 1 3/4 inch circle. Just going to pop that on there like that. We'll put this up, I think. Let's have a look. Where is my leaf for the front? That's going to go there. This is going to tuck down here, but I want you to be able to see this, so, and you maybe need there like that. How about like that? I don't know if I like that. Do I want to just leave that like that and put this here? We're just going to pop this in the center here, just like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me find some dimensionals. Here we go. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. There, right in the center. And then we've got this piece for the inside. So there you have your card and your envelope, and it's even stamped on the back. Ignore that part. There, card and an envelope. That's it. My own design. Just set it there for a second. Move some of the things on the table. There. So that's it for today. That's my card for today. Used the Autumn Leaves stamp bundle, which is stamps and dies. Yeah, that's nice. Now my original card, the one I made this morning, was very similar, except it was I used basic white for the background. Now I think I like the very vanilla background better, and I did put this leaf here, the leaf we stamped out, punched out, I did put it up on dimensionals there, but my sentiment was different, you see, so I had room. And I did make my borders a little different. So, you know, you can make the same card and just vary it a tiny little bit, and you've got, you know, almost a different looking card. That's the card we've just made. Took us about 20 minutes, which wasn't bad, considering I hummed and hawed a little bit in there. That's it for this week. That's my own design. If you want to copy and share it, please do so. And if you sell your cards, please use the Stampin' Up Angel stamp, which just says all the supplies used, or Stampin' Up supplies. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Bye.